right, let's actually get into understanding colors, the basics. We're not going to dive too deep in, but I'm just going to give you guys the basic necessities for color. So the way that I choose colors, I use these 3 principles. They're very standard. You'll like if you type in like color theory in Google, you'll find like a bunch of these kind of diagrams. But anyways, so the first principle is complementary colors. So what are complementary colors? So basically, if you were to select like a color right over here, your complementary color would be the color that is on the opposite side, right over here. Okay. So if we were to take that kind of color, using the eyedropper tool, on your keyboard, it's Alt, or you can always go over here. All right, so let's see, we got this one, and let's take this one over here. So already we got ourselves a color palette right here. So complementary comprises of 2 colors. You could use this theory basically to make a bunch of different color combinations. Like, let's say you were like, I want my character's torso to be comprised of these 2 combinations. And then let's say for the lower half of the body, you're like, I want to use, let's say, something over here. Let me choose a different color. Over here. So we would take that color, put a little swatch. Then, again, because we're using the theory of complementary, we're going all the way across. We're choosing this one over here. So we're going to select it. And then there we go. We have our bottom half of our character. These are the colors that we would use. This is just in theory. So with that idea in mind, you can find a lot of different combinations. You know, you can be like, oh, I'm going to select here, over here. You know, honestly, play around with that idea. Find colors that you relate to, that your character relates to. You know, sometimes a really beautiful selection that's used for one character might not work for another. You know, you got to make these decisions on your own. Now, let's move on to the second one. So second is analogous colors. Okay. So analogous, the theory comprises of 3 colors. So 3 colors, that's great. But they work differently. They don't work like complementary colors. Instead, they're the colors that reside around them. Okay, so your left, your right, and your center. Okay. So again, let's just do another example. You know, let's say we choose our main color, our center color, to be more like this orange. Okay. So again, you know, I do this all the time. Like, I make a little swatch to choose one of my colors. And since we're doing analogous, you know, we're going to choose the colors around it. So let's see. This is our neighbor, and this is our neighbor as well. And yeah, I think we can go a little further out. Doesn't have to be that close. Okay, let's go about here and here. Yeah, okay. So first swatch, second swatch, and third swatch. And there you go. You got another color combination. Again, you can make a bunch of other combinations that really resonate with you. But yeah, like just another quick, easy way to find colors. And don't worry, we'll do more examples of this. with the time that we have. All right, cool. And now on to the last basic principle. I'm probably going to butcher the name. Triadic. Triad. This is the triad of colors. All right, so again, this one works a little differently. But again, it's using the idea of choosing 3 colors that are equally spaced around the wheel. Okay, so pretty much picture a triangle, hence triad, to choose a color somewhere on the map. So again, let's choose, let's see, let's go for over here. So if I were to draw a basic triangle, let's try that. Okay, I don't want to make a pentagram, so I'm gonna just eyeball it. So we're gonna go for over here and over here. Okay. Let's get these going. These little swatches. Oh my God. Here we go. Okay. So 1, 2, and 3. All right. So already that's looking really cool. Like we got all these colors. Using these 3 principles, you can find colors that are harmonious, that work together, even though they're like on the opposite side of each other or beside one another. This is honestly, I just use these basic principles for all the colors I choose to start out. But let's say we want to get a little more complicated, you know, going further, you know. And when I say complicated, it's actually not that much complicated. Okay, so over here, let's say we choose our color over here. Using the slider, the color slider over here, we can start to play around with it. You know, we can start making new combinations of the same color, right? And we can do the same thing over here. And over here. Photoshop, here we go. Yeah, that's not working. There we go. Okay, so again, just by simply taking the colors that we chose using one of these theories, you can start to adjust them. Make them less saturated, warmer, cooler, whatever you decide. Now we're just going to go over some little minor rules to remember. When you're painting, try to stay away from using too much black. I know it's really easy to like go that dark in a lot of areas of our paintings. I've made this mistake as well. But the color black does not really show up all that much in the real world. I know our lighting and everything tricks our brains, but funny enough, when you look at the night sky, it's not black. It's like a really deep hue of like blues and reflected light. But a general rule is try not to use black. The only time that you can use it is very sparingly. Like if you're going to use it in the crevice of like an armpit or the inside of a mouth, maybe. But yeah, use it sparingly. The same thing goes for the color white. Things in the world are not 100% white. You know, they also, objects that are typically white absorb light, you know, and other objects around them. Okay, so again, the other rule is to use white sparingly. Okay, now where would you use white? This maybe a rim light, but again, I wouldn't use white. or something really, really bright. But generally, the best rule, I would say, is to try to stay away from 100% black and 100% white. Now, ways to curve this is, if you have to go for something that is bright, you need to mix in a bit of color. Okay, so instead of having it 100% white, let's say let's use our greenish blue kind of color over here. Just take that color on the bar, change the saturation. So you can either use the slider over here, where you can select on the little triangle over here, but just add a bit of color, you know. You can even like go even lighter, but that in itself will be so much more rich, a rich color on your character. Same thing with color black. Don't go 100% black. At least add in a bit of color, So already that feels really nice,